going on, America? And let's see, it's still morning technically where I'm at. On my clock, I got 11:58. So good morning, depending on where you're at. This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. But first, I got to make sure that, let's see, make sure I got the notification. There it is. It says Kev from Kevin's Corner is live, y'all. I'm live. So I'm looking at myself while I'm live. And I'm going, where's everybody else? Yeah. So I see some people coming in saying hello. What's up? Good afternoon. Yep. Yes, indeed. The same to you all. And if you would do me a favor, so it doesn't bother me, I need to know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? Check one, check one. You know what? And the crazy part, guys, is, I did a nat check. I did a nat check instead of a mic check, and it was cool. I was clear. And now all of a sudden, I thought I saw, you know who fly past. Nothing worse than a gnat. I'd almost rather take a fly than a gnat. All right. So now, with that being said, since you guys said it's all good here, then we might as well go ahead and wet my whistle and get into it, so I can go ahead and get ready for some sleep. Somebody from Atlanta, Georgia. I need to get down to my best friend down there. Her name is Shaq. So she's down in Atlanta. I missed her birthday. Oh, speaking of that, thank you all of those who gave me a special birthday gift in the form of a little change in my piggy bank. I appreciated it. Yeah, buddy. It came right on time. Now, look, I'm not going to discourage any late birthday givers. I've been there before. I'm horrible with birthdays. Yeah, I always have to give the late gift. You know what? Here's a belated gift. So somebody said my audio is quite high. Oh, shoot. Maybe that's a good thing. Let me move it back a little bit. Let me move it back. I don't want to blow your ears off. Yeah, so anyway, those that might want to give to the channel and a late birthday gift, you're welcome. You can do that through my Cash App, my PayPal link, or through the Super Chat. And also, if you're looking to send a gift, I like cheesecake. I don't know if it'll make the trip, might spoil. You know what? You can send me some. What else do I like? I like guns, but you can't send that. You can't send that enough. What else? Motorcycles. If anybody out there got an old motorcycle laying around, I'll take it. I'll take it. I like man things. I like man things. So anyway, let's go ahead and get ready to get into it. So I can go ahead and start shutting it down so I can get up and go make the donuts later on tonight. As you can see on my screen, you have Charlie Kirk's wife. And by now, you all have heard a little bit about the homegoing celebration for Charlie Kirk, and it was wonderful. Now, don't forget, before we get into this, because this is going to be a bumpy one, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms, and you can also stay connected with me if you text MAGA to 330-97446. You know what? Forget it. I'll get the number for you later. Boy, the bad memory when it comes to numbers. I don't know how I made it through high school when we couldn't put girls' numbers in our phones. You had to write that mess down. Yeah, buddy. You be sitting there like, wait, now give it to me again. I don't want to mess it up because, I think I like you already. And I want to make sure I can call you now. So that's a 330. Can I get a napkin? Yeah, those were good days. Now we rely too much on stuff. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to try to let some of these clips play without me responding immediately. But see, when the thought pops in my head, I got to drop it like it's hot. So let's get into it.
America says goodbye to Charlie Kirk and hello to immortality. 200,000 people in Glendale, Arizona, hundreds of millions more watching from all over the world, and the most powerful people in the world all on one stage for one man and one life.
Yeah. Wow. 200,000. Plus, there was more than that. I mean, you're talking about a football stadium. I don't know if you've ever been to a professional football game, but to fill one of those up and also the floor level, and then another stadium, I think it was a hockey stadium, across the street. Are you kidding me? I don't think they had the success that they thought they did when they were all celebrating the passing of Charlie Kirk. I'm pretty sure they didn't calculate over 200,000 folks and millions of others watching it. I'm pretty sure they didn't calculate that. They probably thought, you know what, Charlie Kirk ain't that live. He's not that important. He ain't got the juice like that. I'm pretty sure if we take him out, it'll just die down. MAGA will whine a little bit and then forget about it. But to draw that many people to your funeral, wow, that's impressive. And I'm sure that all of those leftists are looking, going, oh, shoot, how can we spin this? How can we make this look bad? How can we go ahead and say, oh, shoot, maybe we done messed up and awakened a sleeping giant?
Yesterday, the world watched a dream. Charlie Kirk dreamed of a packed house, broadcasted live on national TV, a tribute to family, Christ, and country. Hours of stories, memories, music, and prayers from people who knew him best. Charlie brought everybody together, the cabinet, most of the country, even Trump and Elon, side by side for the first time since the big, beautiful breakup. One lip reader says Musk told the president, "I've missed you." Americans come together when it's darkest.
Yes, true Americans. True Americans. See, but when you have a political party who their whole agenda is to tear Americans apart, see, they at this point might as well be conspiring with a whole bunch of domestic terrorists running around because they encourage them. See, and when you look at their followers who respond with glee when something like that happened, you ain't one of my neighbors. I mean, you ain't one of my fellow patriots. I'm thinking this is something that a bunch of people who believe in terroristic activities would do. If you are over there and you're radicalized and you say, you know what, I think it's cool to, conduct violence to get our political agenda across, and somebody on your side do something and you celebrate that, you might as well, just be in that crew. It sounds to me like you support that particular act. And the way that people responded on the radical left when, Charlie was taken out, unfortunately, makes me feel like, you know what, I don't know. I don't know if I could count you as a loyal American citizen. Because, see, maybe if we focus more so on calling all of us Americans instead of saying we got the gay people, we got the trans people, we got the black people, we got the aborigines, we got the this and that, and we're on stolen land, and this little group over here, and then what about this, and we got women, and then we got, instead of focusing on all of that, maybe we might all feel like we're part of the same crew. But when you have supposedly responsible adults that are making sure they divide us, not only divide us, but create animosity on one side particularly. We ain't talking about where we're just looking at them, laughing at them and saying they're crazy and they're off the hook. No, these folks are over there like, you know what? If we could wipe out all the white supremacist MAGA folks, then our country would be liberal loony land. There it is. Yeah. And so when I see people respond in such a negative way over something like what happened to Charlie, I'm going, I don't know. I don't know if the crap goes down. I would want you in my crew. I don't know. You don't seem to support the same values I support. But however, somehow we have to live amongst these folks, and that's a problem. So let's continue, because Charlie brought common sense, regular folks together.
Yesterday, Charlie Kirk was canonized like a true modern-day missionary, a true believer, someone who spread the gospel and spread his vision for America.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life.
Just like the one who took his life. Wanted to save young men. The man had a heart for young men and probably young women as well. All of it, young adults, especially considering what they're up against. Our youth is being bombarded with nothing but evil. When it comes down to the internet, when it comes down to the education system, all of these things, it's amazing that they could navigate themselves out of all of the propaganda, the temptation, the bad habits, all of these negative influences. It's amazing that they would even make it through. So it was great to have a pioneer like Charlie who was willing to go in on their turf and open the minds of a lot of young adults whose frontal lobe hasn't developed yet. Yeah, they need somebody to counter all of the negativity that has been pumped in their head all of these years. So yeah, he had a passion for changing the minds and opening the minds of young adults. But wait a minute. His wife ain't done. She's about to do something that's gonna blow your mind.
That young man on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Yipper. That's what it's all about. I mean, you want to call yourself a Christian? That's where the rubber meets the road. Yeah. See, it's one thing if somebody steal some money from you. All right, you know what, man? I forgive you. I forgive you. Even if somebody cheat on you, I forgive you. There are some things that probably would be on the easier side of being able to forgive someone as a Christian. But what took place and what happened to Charlie, all of the fallout that she has to deal with, losing her husband, her kids lost their father, got to raise the kids by herself. She got to now also run the business while raising the kids by herself. All of these things. I mean, in her mind, if Charlie was the love of her life, how do you replace that? How are you going to find somebody else? And you're sitting back and you got to look at this nasty, stinking young man who was selfish. And he talking about his love, my love. And you know what I expect? I'm sorry I put you in this situation, my love. And all of that mess. And here you got to come out here and say, I forgive you. I forgive you. That's a tough pill to swallow. Right about now, that would be a major test for me. Major test. And so what makes that test even harder is the fact that we are still surrounded by nasty, stinking folks. Nasty, stinking folks who don't have enough, social skills, don't have enough, just common sense, grace, empathy. Don't have enough of that. That makes it harder and harder for folks to say, you know what? It's one thing to forgive that dude, but then you got a whole bunch of minions running around that every day I look at them, they remind me of me needing the Lord. It reminds me of Lord Heavenly Father, help me, give me a clean heart so I don't feel some type of way about these people. Now, I can honestly say, I do not hate anyone. I do not hate anyone on the left. To me, I just kind of got a block where it says, you know what, hate might be going too far. But I strongly dislike a lot of them. And I hate their behaviors. I hate what they say. And I hate what they do. That's what I hate. So now, with that being said, Trump comes out in Trump style, and he kept it 100% real, y'all.
Not everybody's as forgiving as Charlie and Erica. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent.
What?
Sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Wow, there it is. By the way, somebody said they wish they could send me some, but they're on a tight budget. You know what? You sending me well wishes is enough for me. That's all I need. You giving me your time, watching me, just sit back and talking to y'all. That's enough for me. So thank you. Trust me, I love gifts. I love blessings. I love money and all of that good stuff. But I love you guys more. So now, you hear what Trump said? Now, I bet you people saying he evil. They were saying all kinds. So now let me tell you something about a president who protects his people, I need him to have a problem with our enemies, whether they are foreign or domestic. I need him to, cut out a lot of the emotion when it comes down to dealing with evil people. Now, I won't say go far as, hate, but boy, they make it hard not to. And when you deal with them, you're not dealing with them because he is above the executive branch. What he's supposed to do is exercise the law. See, a lot of folks get all spiritual and stuff and be like, you know what, that's good. But at the same time, we are to obey the laws of the land. And if the president and the executive branch and the judicial branch say that man has done something so bad that he got to go, then he got to go. I mean, his own father sent him in, turned him in. It's bad when your old man got to go, oh, man, you were too far. I mean, we Christians and all, but I got to send your butt in there. Sorry. I hope you get repentance before they do what they need to do to you. And so Trump right here is keeping it real. He's like, yeah, I have to deal with them in a way that y'all don't have the luxury to deal with them in. I have to deal with them because I've seen what they've done and what they would do. I know what these people would do if they found out that we had a little bit of softness on our side, a little bit of grace. They can't handle that. They're like kids that as soon as they see a teacher or a parent show weakness, it's over. When I meet little kids, I gotta evaluate their temperament for a while. Yeah, I gotta check them out. I gotta observe them for a while because I'm saying if this kid starts to say, well, he's my friend. Yeah, before I know it, he's kicking me in the shins and stuff like that. Now I gotta backtrack and become strong. I don't want to do that. I'd rather start off strong and then temper it. So when it comes down to the executive branch and Trump, I always say we need a monster to deal with the monsters that we're dealing with. But he's a monster with grace and he's measured. So when it comes down to him saying he got, hates his opponents and his enemies and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want my enemies to prosper. I'm not praying for their success. When I look at what they've done to this country, I don't want evil on them. But I definitely am not sitting there going, bless them, Jesus. The most I can say is I want everybody to find salvation. But if you choose not to, and you carry on like what we're about to see, I'm not sitting there going, well, continue to bless them, keep them in office. I'm not saying that. Protect their jobs. No. I'm saying, hey, it is what it is. So now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get an example of why Trump said this and why it's so hard to not despise these people.
Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true. The gun was pointed at him, but the bullet was aimed at all of us.
Bam. And that's why he takes our enemies very seriously. And that is why I take them very seriously. I understand the bigger picture. Okay. They might have targeted Charlie, but that bullet was aimed at all of us. Every accusation that's thrown out there is aimed at all of us. Them always saying we're the most dangerous group of people in America. We're the biggest threat to our democracy. All of those, weapons thrown at us. Those arrows that come out their mouths are aimed at all of us. And you'll be amazed that even while they were putting Charlie to rest, Democrats are out there still spitting up venom. So you want to know why Trump said that he hates our enemies? He hates his enemies. Well, I'm about to show y'all why he hates our enemies.
Trump, in the way only Trump can, is casually confessing that he still hates. He hates what evil people are doing to our country, what they did to him, and what they did to Charlie. And he's not ready to forgive. Trump's not going to say the right thing just because it's the right time. For him, it's not the right time. And for many of us, we feel the same way. It's hard to forgive. It's hard to stop hating our enemies. These wounds are deep, and they're going to take time to heal.
And they definitely went too far with this one. And they just don't know how to stop. What do you do with an enemy who you know wants to cut your throat at any given second? Who you are not seeing any signs of any type of repentance? I mean, look at it this way. Do you love the devil? No. No. You got to look at him the way he is. That's one being that'll never change his nature. And the moment you start negotiating with Satan, the moment you start saying, well, maybe Satan ain't that bad. I mean, you know what? You got yourself a problem. Yeah, you got to wake up every day and go, you know what? It's war. It's war. Now, when it comes down to these people that have devilish behavior, that's how you got to look at them. Every time they get up there in Congress and you know what? White supremacy and the Hitler and this and that, it's war. It's war. I would have to see Jesus in you. I would have to see some of y'all get filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues and falling all over the place, shaking, before I can go, okay, maybe they're really, trying to change. But what we're about to see is going to show us that they're not. Yeah, they're making it real hard not to despise them. So let's continue. Here we go.
The hundreds of thousands in attendance and the millions watching from home know that Erica's right. And Trump's honesty, in a humorous and humble way, created the contrast for us to see that she's right. Love and hate are a choice. We're in control. It's why we choose a spiritual revolution over a violent one.
And I love the fact that she went out there and did that, because that was a great testimony to Christianity and to her faith. That right there is, she did something that will move the hearts of even, hopefully, our enemies, as we're about to see. Because some people out there on the left or even in the middle saw this, saw what happened, saw the reaction of folks that's supposed to be in their party and say, you know what? I still got enough humanity in me to say that ain't right. I still got enough, common sense. I still got enough conscience in me to say, I don't want to be a part of the baddies. And this, what she did, was an amazing example of a good person, a Christian, amazing. Because most folks couldn't have got out there and did that. Most folks would have been up there like, you know what, I hope he choke on a chicken bone in his sleep. I hope that dude right there gets what's coming to him. Yeah, and honestly, you can love a person. Jesus will love folks and send them to hell at the same time. Like, you think I wanted you there? You think how many times I tried to tell you to get it together? Because I love you. But I can't lie when I say these things will end up here. Hey, if I let you slide, I got to let everybody slide. So when it comes down to the repercussions of this man's actions, he gets what he gets. Yeah, that's when I say, oh yeah, we got to go ahead and obey the laws of the land. Your soul is in the hands of Christ, but your butt is in the hands of the government and the law. See, so yeah, let's see what this has done to people that still got enough grace in their hearts in America.
After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. We didn't see rioting.
What? We didn't go out in the streets and burn stuff. Remember, we're supposed to be the most violent. We're supposed to be the biggest threat. Remember, both sides. There's violence on both sides. Can you imagine if they would have done something like this to one of the folks on the left? Right now, we'd all have to be on martial law because these people will be out in the streets burning stuff, flipping stuff over. It will be horrific. But we have civility. We have patience. We have grace. We have common sense. We have self-control. And so, yeah, I know they would have loved to see us try to retaliate and do something crazy, but we're not like them. Remember that girl, my last live stream, that woman who was like, you effing animals. See, we're not animals. We don't behave like that.
We saw what my husband always prayed he would see in this country. We saw revival.
This was the first event that I've seen where the president was not even the main event. Charlie was. Erica was. We all were. God was. And Trump let it be that way. This is the way forward. America first, with God above. Christianity and MAGA. It's always been there.
Now, just saying Christianity, you know, went all up and down the spines of liberals. I mean, they're trying to demonize Christianity in such a way. Because see, you notice what they do? They link it to race. White Christian nationalists. They come up with these, derogatory terms so they can go after a large population of people in America that don't believe what they believe, don't vote the way they vote. So you can't just be a Christian. They're going to go ahead and slap labels on you. Now, you're not a Christian. You're a white nationalist Christian. Yeah, but what about all the other ones that aren't white? Y'all don't care about them. Y'all don't care about them. So that's what they like to do. And they hate the fact that, hey, if you're a Christian, you're not going to be supporting abortion. You're not going to be supporting third term, this and that, and kids drink. You're not going to be supporting that. And they hate that. See, Christianity bumps heads with them if you are really trying to live according to the Bible. So yeah, they hate that. And look at all those folks. Look at that sea of folks look like carpet. Yep. I feel like just walking right over their heads. Just walking on them like they're carpet. That's how many people came out. And that right there stuck a dagger in all of those radical leftist hearts.
But never as starkly as now. Charlie's death woke us up. It's always been a spiritual war between light and darkness, between good and evil, between right and wrong. And we will defend our interests.
Yep. So one thing they can't do is get it twisted. Yes, Erica went out there and forgave this man. She was gracious. She was poised, all of that stuff. But don't get it twisted. We're not weak. We're not sorry. We're not going to sit back and say, well, you know what? This business as usual. The left would do what the left does. No, See, I got my eyeball on all of them right about now. See, so let's continue.
Knowing the stakes and speaking about them in clear terms makes us all more confident in winning this battle.
Yep.
Charlie was a disciple and showed us how to win this battle with words, with vigilance, and with truth. Yeah. The assassin's plot backfired. He tried snuffing out Charlie's movement, but now it's bigger than ever.
Look at that. Woo, wait, I'm mad that I couldn't make it. I contacted Officer Tatum, and that guy didn't get back with me. I'm giving the earful. But I was like, man, how you say? I was scared. If you're going to fly all the way to Arizona, you got to make sure you can get in. I ain't want to be over there in the hockey arena. Nah, man. I wanted to be on the main floor. But anyway, I probably couldn't have made it anyway. It was too soon of a notice. But nonetheless, I was there in spirit. And I wish I could have been there in flesh. Boy, that looked like a revival right there. Look at that. All kind of Asian folks. We got Latinos. We got blacks all up in there. But they won't say that because word on the street is some of the radical left commentators are out there saying this was a Nazi rally. They just don't learn. They don't learn. They're still out there saying the stupid stuff that drives crazy people crazier. A Nazi rally. That's what that was.
Now the whole world knows who Charlie is and what he stood for. But Democrats are spitting on his grave.
If the Democrats, if AOC and the far left, the extreme left, I'm going to say, believe that's where the Democratic Party is today, then that'll tell you why you lost people like me.
Oh, well, look at that. Losing people like him and others. He's not the only one. Let's hear some more.
The Democratic Party has lost more than 160,000 Democrats that have basically left the party since November election.
That's not enough. That's not enough. They need to lose everybody but the people that's in Congress. That's it. Only votes that they get should be their own vote for themselves. That's it. Even family members should not vote for these people. What do you mean you didn't vote for me, honey? Yeah, you're just a little too radical, sweetie. That's what needs to happen to this party because they just don't get it. I mean, they have no political IQ whatsoever. They see what's going on. All of these wonderful things happening. And you would think they say, let me go ahead and at least pretend that I'm not crazy and radical by saying, yeah, that's a good idea. Or, yeah, I support that. Or, yeah, what happened to Charlie Kirk is unexcusable. That's horrible. We shouldn't be out there calling people with this kid inscribed on his bullet. Especially knowing that these people that we're saying this about aren't really that. Yeah, we're just using this mess because we have no policies. We have no legitimate arguments. So we're just doing that. So maybe we shouldn't do that, especially when this guy was inscribing Democrat talking points on those bullets. Now, imagine if somebody did that and put in there MAGA. Make America great again. You know what they do? They would be all over it every single day. Look at this. This is what they're inspiring. This is the true nature of MAGA. When people say MAGA, this is what they mean. Violence. Unreal.
So if that's the way the Democratic Party's going, it's getting worse, not better.
Hey, what's up? It's Anthony Constantino with a quick message to any reasonably minded Democrats out there.
Reasonably minded Democrats. Now look what's happening, y'all. I told y'all. It's backfiring. They right there went too crazy for folks that might have been slightly crazy. You know, I mean, when I was in college and high school, don't get me wrong, I was a little crazy. You know, we crack some skulls every once in a while, but there was those guys that you say, dude, we can't do that. That's a little too far. You a little too crazy. I mean, I'm sitting there going, you know what? Let's just go ahead and knock his milkshake over. You talking about pouring it on his head and running a kick game on him. And I'm going, we just joking. I mean, we go to school with this dude. We can't do, you're going too far. See, and so now the people who just got a little craze, look what they're doing.
Following the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk, we've all seen tens of thousands of Democrats openly celebrate his murder, with millions more liking those disgusting social media posts online. If you're a Democrat who still cares about a better world and a better future, it's time to leave. Your Democrat Party has become a hate cult. It spends billions, if not trillions, to poison the minds of your fellow citizens so that they hate their friends, their neighbors, and even their family members simply for thinking different.
Yep. Their whole strategy is about conquer and divide. That's it. I mean, when they come out, you don't hear them leading policies first. They might mention a policy with no details. See, that's the key, with no details, because they can't implement the policies. They can't govern. Plus, they know that if they give details, it would expose what they really are about. We need immigration reform. Well, give me some details. Oh, you can't do that? Because if you give me details, what that means is we want people to come in here unabated, give them all amnesty, give them all, citizenship. That's what immigration reform looks like to you guys. So when y'all say things like this, you don't want the details. You just say immigration reform, not racism and xenophobia. It's followed up with a whole bunch of accusations and divisions and stuff like that. Because if you get into those details, we want women's reproductive rights. What does that mean? That means that they should be able to decide what goes on with their body. Go ahead, a little more. Keep going. That means abortion. Just abortion? How much? How like what? 3 months? And 2.5 months? No. Or you can't answer the next question? That means 9 months? If you start probing, you'll find that their policies suck. So they have to back it up with vague statements about stuff that needs to be happening, and then follow it up with a whole bunch of accusations about the other party.
We didn't wake up in a country where millions celebrate death and murder by accident. The Democrat Party, along with its donors and its friends in the media, engineered this. If you see what I'm seeing and want no part of it, I ask that you leave the Democrat Party to force its reform so we can all live in a happier and better country. Now,
that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Because right now, I think it's in the bone. There are some Democrat Party members that they wouldn't care if they lost every single voter. They would go down with the ship. They don't know better. They don't know anything else but this. I mean, y'all should have known that when you brought these radical folks in your party. Now they're off the leash. Now you can't control them. Now they're taking over the whole party. Not only that, you helped them by participating and slandering everybody in the United States. So even some of the logical Democrats who go, yeah, we know we don't believe all of this mess. Well, if you didn't believe it, why'd you say it? Why did you push these type of accusations for the last 12 years? Teaming up with the extreme radicals that I know when y'all sit back and listen to AOC, listen to Jasmine Ratchet, all of them, y'all probably going, y'all a little too crazy. But you know what? They're on our squad right now. We need a little craze. We want somebody who we can unleash at the right moment. But then when something like this happens, and the rest of the world and the rest of the United States start going, y'all are a party of nuts, then how you going to excuse that? How you going to pull back now? That's the question. So my gut tells me they're in too deep for reform. Reform is get rid of the party. That's what it needs to do. Just get rid of the whole party. Scrap it. Get a regular job, Chuck Schumer, the Hawker Jeffries. Get a regular job.
I am fucking done with the Democratic Party. You guys are psychotic. I've been a Democrat my entire life. I'm 43 years old, and I've never been more humiliated and embarrassed to be part of something. You guys are the most racist, hateful, bigoted, nasty group of people I've ever had to commingle with.
Whoa! Now look at that. She just labeled them everything that they label us. But the difference is, it's true. Hateful, racist, divisive, all of that. Folks with common sense and a conscience is going, okay, I thought we was just trying to win elections, not celebrate assassinations. Yeah, that's all I thought. I thought we were just trying to win some elections. Y'all out there celebrating assassinations. So now, look at this. This woman's eyes is opening.
And it's not all, just to be clear, but it's a majority of you guys. The left has lost their goddamn minds.
Bam! They have lost their minds. So how then do you deal with folks that lost their mind? How do you deal with them when they're so far and so crazy and so dang on psychotic that you go, I can't even have a conversation with you. I can't stick a mic in your face. You can't even pull it together for just a few weeks while we mourn the loss of Charlie Kirk. Can't even do that? Yeah, you're that nasty and that evil that you can't pull it together for just a few weeks. See, then we're about to see an example of some Democrats who at least got enough political IQ to say, well, we might want to keep our mouths shut. It's not the time to come out talking about Charlie Kirk was this and that. But then you got the dummies, the ones that makes it real hard not to say, I despise you.
What I've witnessed over the last 72 hours has been an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Disgrace.
Yeah.
You guys want...
The radical leftists are exposing themselves at such a record rate that literally MAGA is not alone anymore in standing against the far left radical ideologies and violence. And I say that based upon all the messages, all the phone calls that I've got from Democrats and liberals that I know, even some people that are pretty far left leaning, because I know a lot, because I'm a former Democrat for over a decade. The overall sentiment is that they're fucking done with the ideologies.
The ideologies, you know what that means. I think I gotta walk away. Doom, 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 doom. Looks like a Democrat TKO. Get out of there. Gotta let them go. So now, all the ideologies. Because see, remember, you can't be a part-time Democrat. You got to be straight up radical. Yeah, you got to be ultra radical. You can't get in there like, well, on one end, I do have some liberal views, but then I have some conservative. What? You're MAGA. The radical left do not tolerate any dissent at all. At all. Look what they did to Brandon Straka. I mean, you can be trans, you can be gay, all of that stuff. And they would throw all of that mess out the window if you got enough common sense to say, now, wait a minute, Dave Rubin, they hate that dude. See, and when they reveal how crazy they are, all they do is push those people right on over to us. Let's continue, though.
Far left pushes, and we all know what those are. I mean, and these were Democrats and liberals saying that. Not that they're all about MAGA or for Donald Trump or that they're Republicans, but they are finally being very vocal and speaking out against the far left.
And that's a great start. Because if you just got enough of an opening to where they say, man, my party's crazy, that means they're opening their brain to listening to the alternative to their party. If you can see their party is crazy and far left and got all these ideologies and you got to do this and you got to protest on that every Saturday and then we're having this thing and though you got to be mad about this issue and you got to support this and this and that. And all you want to do is just vote because you got a couple issues you believe in democratically and all that stuff. You say, whoa. Is there alternative to these people? I mean, maybe I've overlooked how crazy my party. I went to sleep and woke up and they are crazy. And I'm like, good. Continue to show America just how radical and how crazy you guys are. I open my arms to all of them. Everybody who got enough sense to say, my party is crazy. Come on. Come on in the ark. It's gonna rain. So let's continue because the Democrats, they're not clever enough to realize maybe we should change our wicked ways.
So now is our opportunity to have those conversations with the rational people. You don't have to worry about the far left, you're a fascist, toddler type acting people.
Yeah, because once you start seeing that those folks are the crazy ones, then folks with common sense, you're more apt to listen to. When you start looking at your so-called voters in your party on the internet, laughing, celebrating, or screaming at people, showing up at every protest, yelling at people, calling them everything under the sun, and you're going, wait a minute, are you calling these people Nazis? Don't you think that's a little too far? You calling these people what, racist, white? So you're telling me half the country are all white supremacists? Right? See, anybody with common sense, if you start putting that in perspective, you say, the way you see America in the world is crazy. You're delusional and I don't want to be a part of that. People might start to think that I'm crazy. If I'm voting for evil folks who's saying this stuff and evil folks who's believing this stuff, then somebody might say that I'm one of the crazies. So let's continue.
Or the bullies online or any of them. Worry about the rational liberal. Have conversations with those people.
They say he's a fascist.
They say he's a fascist. Now, let's set the tone for why Trump said what he said about our enemies. This is back in the day. Here's Charlie Kirk. Listen to what Charlie says.
Joining me right now for reaction, the man that was attacked himself, turning point USA founder, Charlie Kirk. Charlie.
Thank you.
Wait, Charlie, why were you attacked? Why were you attacked? Was it because you were out there throwing Molotov cocktails? No, it wasn't that. It's because you showed up to have a debate or a conversation with folks who can't tolerate that because your words are violence against them. That's why you were attacked, Charlie, right?
What do you have to say about that? I mean, people calling you a fascist. You want to educate them a little bit on what fascism really is?
Please do.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, little do they know that we actually, when we do our campus events at Turning Point USA, if anyone disagrees, they're allowed to come to the front of the line and ask any question they want to whatsoever.
What kind of fascism is this? What are you talking about, Charlie? Anybody who disagrees, well, that's the whole point about fascism. You don't tolerate no dissent and disagreeing. That's why all of these people are dumb. They're delusional. They don't realize they are the ones that are operating like fascists because they won't even listen to you. They don't want to hear your side. And in fact, they'll just go ahead and label you and judge your heart immediately. So you're telling me this so-called fascist was like, hey, step up, debate me. Let me hear, your side, and I'll go ahead and rebuttal, and then we'll have a civil conversation, and then we'll walk away agreeing to disagree if it comes down to that. But yet, they're saying he's a fascist. That goes to show they're delusional and crazy. They don't even know what fascism is. They don't even realize they're the fascists. Are we the baddies?
But Trish, what I found to be most disheartening is that instead of actually coming in to have a conversation, they were screaming outside because it made them feel good, not because it actually did good. And I mean, this was kind of virtue signaling in real time. And unfortunately, the university administration or college professors, they weren't out actually encouraging the students to have dialogue or meaningful conversation. And Trish, what's so amazing is they couldn't even say one thing that I believe. Instead, it's just innuendo.
Absolutely. You think they get sent out there informed? Absolutely not. That's how the Democrats keep them. They keep them just mad and emotional. They don't want them to be informed. That's why they give them vague information when they drop these accusations out there. You think they're going to give you the context of what Charlie Kirk is talking about? You think they're going to show you the whole clip of Donald Trump saying, walk over and let your voices peacefully be heard? You think they're going to show that? You think they're going to show you the clip of Donald Trump saying, you know what, not the neo-fascists and the Nazis, because they should be condemned totally. You think they're going to show you that? You think they're going to show you the whole clip of Donald Trump talking about if China sets up car manufacturing in Mexico, it'll ruin our country. If I'm not elected, it'll be a bloodbath. You think they're going to show you the whole thing? Nope. No, they're just going to show you the part where he said, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. That's how they keep them mad and keep them dumb because they don't want to know what's beneath the surface. They don't even ask questions. They just say, point me in the direction so I can go and call these people fascists, xenophobes, homophobes, and this and this and that. So these Democrats are taking advantage of simple-minded people.
It's open-ended insults, and it's things that are completely fake and false. And it's too bad because when you don't talk to people, then really bad things, unfortunately, start to happen.
I agree.
And that's exactly why they shield all of their crazy protesters out there from speaking to anybody who come up and say, why are you here? Don't talk to them. Don't talk to them. So wait, you're saying Trump said whatever? Well, what makes you say that? Because he said a lot of stuff. Like what? He said, I don't really know what he has said, but I just know he said, this is what you get when you go out there to these crazy radical protests. They don't know why they're there. They're just sitting back saying, I'm mad for nothing, and you guys are this and that. Or they all gather around the folks and say, don't talk to them, shame, yell at you, scream you down, all of that mess. That's what you get. So now, how you going to ever coexist with these crazy people? That's the question. And then you got their crazy leaders.
They didn't do their research. They had no idea who you are, really what you stood for. All they knew is that you support the president, and therefore, in their view, must be a really bad person.
But I can't stand my opponent.
Uh-oh. So wait, why Trump? Why would you say that? I mean, maybe you could show us some examples of some of your opponents that you can't stand. Because my gut tells me I'm not going to be able to stand these people either. So let's see.
What do you say to people who are saying Democrats need to lower their temperatures?
Oh, well, look at this. It's Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas. What do you say to people who say the Democrats need to lower their temperature? Oh, please.
Please. Right. Why don't you start with the President of the United States? Right? And every ugly meme he has posted and every ugly word.
But I can't stand my opponent.
Yep. There you go. She's on that list if I can't stand her. On that list. High up. She's a high ranking. I can't stand that opponent. Yeah, but wait. She ain't the only one. She ain't the only one. Let's see.
This is what's happening, and that is why the bills that Senator Markey, Senator Klobuchar, and I have introduced, and others, will provide some relief for the millions of small businesses in our country who are taking it in the neck with these tariffs.
Now you hear that? Why would you say that? Is that a common expression? I mean, Hirono is disgusting. These are the people who I'm saying I can't stand them. I need them out of Congress. They are a cancer to our country. So now, why would she use that framing? Why would she use that, a reference? That taking it to the neck. What are you saying? I mean, I have never heard anybody say that. I've heard people say taking it to the chin, taking it to the gut, but to the neck, interesting. But people came to her defense. There's just a figure of speech, really.
I can't stand my opponent.
Who else?
It's really important. We need to stand up against this.
Oh, here's one. Here's one that I gotta go to the altar over just so I can rebuke the spirit of hatred in my heart. Yeah, this one right here keeps me like Heavenly Father. I gotta stay under the anointing at all times when dealing with this one. Look at this one. Now remember, guys, these statements are all after Charlie Kirk has been assassinated. You would think they would go, maybe we should pull back. Maybe we should not throw fuel on this fire.
Fascist takeover, that's not a bad word.
It's not a bad word. Did you hear this dummy? I mean, the man inscribed that on one of his bullets. But here she is. In DC, we can't support this fascist takeover, but that's not a bad word. So then, how should we interpret you calling us fascists, or Trump fascists, or the administration fascists? I mean, only person that would think that fascist is not a bad word would be a fascist. I'm pretty sure Hitler, Lefebvre, and the rest of them were proud to be called the fascist party. But now here you are, you donkey, talking about that fascist takeover, but that's not a bad word. Now look at her. Yeah, she's trying to excuse it. She's like, let me go ahead and continue being evil and nasty. Continue making it hard for you guys to look at us and say, maybe there's a chance we can all get together. Yeah, continue to go ahead and use this type of language to make you go, you know what, I can't stand my opponents. So now, it's not a bad word.
It's a fact.
Fact. A fact. You see this? How are they in Congress? They got to go. They hate the country. They hate us. Now, all of a sudden, what they're doing in D.C. that brought the crime down is fascism. And it's a fact. Now, does that mean all of those minorities that were up there in D.C. saying, man, hey, it's working. I'm happy that do they view it like that? Are they viewing it like, fascism? This woman right here is throwing these words out. And I'm saying I should see fascist behavior, fascist results. I should be able to compare what they're doing in D.C. to what they did under the Nazi regime. And it's nothing like that. So why are you using that language?
Here in DC and across the country, it is so incredibly important, Mr. Chair, that this committee does not allow rhetoric that defames and or paints Washington D.C. in a way.
Do you hear this fool? She don't even hear herself. It's so important that this chair don't allow them to use a rhetoric that paints D.C. in this way, as I just used rhetoric that paints the Trump administration as fascist. Now, do you see the irony in this, the hypocrisy in this, the stupidity in this, the wordsmithing that she got to go through? See, now, what is she going to do? You think this dummy is going to sit back and argue why they should allow D.C. to continue to plummet into crime? You think this dummy is going to sit back and say, you know what, let all the black kids and stuff continue being killed? No, she can't argue the point because it's successful and it's common sense to go after the crime in D.C. So what does she do? It's fascist. Just because you went in there with the military to clean up that mess, it's fascism and stuff like that to save lives.
That you all haven't really truly seen. You're just reading it. No, you're just reading it or something off of some.
Will the gentlelady yield to a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that general, that's being nice, calling her a gentle lady. I'm like, with the gentle dummy, yield for a question.
I think it's really important.
Will the gentlelady yield?
No, I don't yield. I don't even have time.
Here we
I
go.
can tell you,
your time's expired.
It is expired, but Mr. Chair, but you all live here, and you're not telling people the beautiful parts that you do see in our nation's capital.
You're not telling the people the beautiful parts. We all know there's beautiful parts in every S-hole ran city. The goal is to try to keep it beautiful, okay? Because the crime is digging in. That's what it's doing. The crime is starting to take over the beautiful parts. Leave it up to Democrats. It'll all be 100% pure S-hole. Leave it up to Gavin the Nuisance. All of California would be brown. The whole map would be a dookie map. You wouldn't find any spot on that map to walk. You'd be going, wait a minute. There's doo-doo all over California, every inch? Absolutely. Probably except his house and his vineyard. He'd make sure they clean up that stuff though. Unreal. So now, look at this dummy who makes it real hard not to despise your enemies.
And no. It's just wrong how we're doing.
Chairman, I think it's insane that the Democrat doesn't have an argument, but she's going to refer to me and some of my colleagues. We were from the Third Reich. This is insane.
Yeah, see, because they don't stop to think that way. They just want people to believe the only people who supports these policies and Donald Trump are white people. It blows their mind when a black person said, no, wait a minute, hold on. You calling us fascists and I'm in that party. Just like they call all of the MAGA folks white supremacists, white Nazis and stuff like that. They don't even give a darn that Jews voted for Trump. They don't care that black folks, Indians, Native Americans, Asians, they don't care about that mess. And they hope that their dumb, crazy, radical minions on the street don't even stop to think about that. So here she is now. I guess we're looking at a black fascist now.
Insane.
15-year-olds
It's
a bunch of
insane.
criminals?
It's insane.
Oh,
do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Tlaib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting
Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
There it is. Get louder. Get more radical. Get more crazy. Yeah. So we can't hear his words. Do what you do. And do what all of your voters and radical folks on the left do. Just get loud, screaming.
Is that what you think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. To say something like that, to for myself, a lot of my colleagues, is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Now, can you imagine, fellas? All the fellas in the house. Can you imagine waking up to that bubble-eyed chick? Can you imagine dealing with that motor mouth every day? That fish mouth? I'd put a hook in it. I'd be like, God dog it, if you could. No, if you ain't gonna clean the clothes, and you know what all that shit I do, it's just turn around and you never listen to me. You know what was the last time you took me out? And you don't even love me. And you just sitting there like, should have listened to my mother. My friends tried to tell me, Kev, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. I'm just gonna open the door, walk out, and walk until I drop. Just gonna walk. Sir, are you okay? No. Just on the highway, walking. Where you going? Don't know. Just away from motor mouth. Unbelievable.
Glory, Mr. Way out of line. That's okay. But it's okay, right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold
Washington,
myself
D.C.
accountable. Hold your own self accountable. How about that? Hold your own self accountable.
Yeah. And you know who should be holding these dummies accountable? If the Democrats were smart, because they have no real leaders, they would be getting hold of these dummies and say, you're making us look bad. Yeah. See, right now, the Republicans and common sense Americans are starting to look at us as the problem. Yeah. They're starting to say, wait a minute, if we had all these shootings taking place and these folks are using Democrat talking points like the trans community is under attack, they're trying to unexist us and this is a genocide. If we got folks out there killing folks and saying, free Palestine, and all of these folks are connected to us, maybe we should lay low. Maybe we should stop throwing out words like fascist. Because right now they're highlighting it. See, we thought we had it undercover. We thought, it was under the radar. But now it's in the spotlight. And they're too dumb to even stop. Now, you know you evil when you can't stop and everybody's looking at you do the evil. That's what she just did. Fascism, but it's not a bad word. Yeah, that is Jeffrey Dahmer level psychotic, dang on sociopathic behavior. When that dude broke out of prison, instead of fleeing to Mexico, he went right down the street to the college and committed another crime. Yeah, it was greater than him. See, that's the level that these people are on, and that's why it's easy for Trump to say, I despise my opponents.
Free DC and make sure
Free DC.
you vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody else.
But
Somebody's sick of sock.
I can't stand my opponent.
I get it. After listening to that, I'm moving over to the category of I can't stand my opponent. Yeah. See, these are the type of people, if this woman stays in Congress, she's not productive, ain't done nothing, no policies, just a disruptor, just an agitator, just a motor mouth. And all those Democrats, I'm sure, are sitting there going, oh, she's on our squad. But we got to go ahead and embrace her because we let the radicals come in. And right about now, they're wreaking havoc in our party. So let's continue, though, because there's more. See, Trump said, I can't stand my opponent. Show me another example.
Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives. After a school shooting. Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm showing you the worst examples. And the Democrat Party is held captive to these dummies. Now, here's one. They shouldn't even be in a freaking country. Yeah, I said it. Definitely shouldn't be in Congress. Yeah, somehow you manipulated your butt over into our country and then somehow manipulated your butt into Congress. She's a mole. This woman should be brought up on charges for violating our immigration laws. But here she is coming out with her head wrapped to just show everybody, look, I'm a black Muslim. I'm a black Muslim woman. What kind of Muslim are you when you divorced your husband who was Muslim and married the white devil? White devil. But I'm a Muslim. I want to go ahead and lead Muslim first. Muslim first. You think the people back in Somalia is okay with you married to the white devil? See? Hypocrites. But now here she is dropping all kind of lies out there about Charlie. He said that the guns save lives. after a school. And I'm going, they do. Are you kidding me? Maybe if we have more guns around the schools, just like you got security for no reason, because nobody's after you, but just because, like you got security around you with guns, maybe we should do that for the schools. But here you go. Out there, he's the person. Now, you trash when you can't stop for 1 second. You don't have enough political sense to keep your dang on mouth shut. Hot as this topic is, as hot as it is right now, everybody's eyes were on Charlie and what happened to him. And these fools are so evil that they I still got to come out and say evil stuff.
Play slavery and what Black people have gone through in this country. There are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Now you see, here's the other dude over there, this trash. You get two trash people together, and that's what you get. Completely rewriting of history. How? I mean, y'all act as if we didn't watch Charlie Kirk. They're talking to whomever they're talking to under the assumption that our people don't really watch Charlie Kirk. They just watch the clips or they just listen to what we say he said. Because if you watch it, I'm going, what are you talking about rewriting history? That's what you've concluded? I've listened to Charlie. The stuff that you're saying is misleading on purpose. On purpose.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of
She's so evil, man. So evil. Now you see, I understand it, Trump. I understand why you said, you know what? I despise my opponents. This woman right here, evil to the bone, corrupt to the bone, all from that burqa all the way down to them crusty dang on toes. Evil to the bone. Shouldn't be in Congress. Probably shouldn't be in the country either. And I hope they look into her. See, I'm sick of playing with these evil people. I'm sick of playing. We all know the whole backstory behind her. Why ain't somebody looking into this? Yeah, I know if you came with the documents and said, look, now you're under investigation. She's going to scream and kick racism, the xenophobia, the Islamophobia. So what? So what? Get her tail out of here.
No one is saying that you have to agree with him. I don't think it's surprising that his wife agreed with him, obviously, or that they shared similar views. I just think that what people looked at it is, the day after his shocking death, that his views were being litigated in that way. No one's saying you have to lionize him.
But we were responding to the people who were lionizing him. I was not going to have a debate on Charlie. We were responding to the people who wanted the debate on Charlie.
But there was no debate. Y'all made it a debate. Lionizing him. Oh, just because we were saying Charlie was a great man, this and that, y'all can't even do that. You can't even sit on the sideline and listen to people celebrate Charlie and say good things about him. You're sitting there the whole time like, they ain't even talking to me. They're not, they just talking about how great Charlie was. But I got to get in. I got to get in there and go, you know what? Actually, he wasn't. See, this is how politically stupid they are. But it goes to show how they're so evil, they can't even keep their mouth shut for a period of mourning. So people lionizing him, talking about he was a great man, he was a good man, and this and that. How about you just shut up? How about you sit the bench? How about you let the heat, cool off a little bit? But not them, not them. We got to go ahead and say something negative. We can't sit back and let people celebrate the life of Charlie. And see, the Democrats, that's why people walking away.
If I put out a tweet, right, when he was killed, that political violence is wrong.
Oh, you see, that's their cover. There it is. Y'all see the tactic? Oh, shoot. All of our crazy rhetoric that led to crazy people doing crazy things. And, they might connect us to that crazy person based on what the crazy person said his motivation was. So what I'm going to do is start off by bubble wrapping and blocking any criticism of my crazy rhetoric by saying that I condemn this and this and that. I put out a tweet. However, Charlie Kirk was divisive. He was controversial. He was a racist. He was a white supremacist and this and that. But we don't support violence. We don't support violence. That's why it's real hard not to despise your enemies. Because I do. I despise this woman.
And that we should work everything within our power to end the gun violence in this country. None of us were interested in litigating his life until his supporters and our House Republican colleagues decided to say he was akin to Martin Luther King, who this man loathed.
I mean, what that still got to do with you? Okay? They should be able to say whatever they want to say about Charlie. Charlie had made and did make an impact, huge impact. God knows how much of an impact that Charlie Kirk has made. And we can see just a smidge of that just in the funeral alone. But see, y'all can't sit back as if this woman really supported Dr. King or whatever and this and that. She's a Muslim. I mean, most likely she don't care nothing about that. They like to bring up that stuff. They like to act like, oh, we supported every civil rights leader. You weren't even in the country. You didn't even go through the civil rights movement. None of your people did. Your butt's from Somalia. And you ever talk about Dr. King? Dang on it. Let's continue.
So you invited us into that debate that you wanted to have. That you
No, what we did is invited your butt over into our country. When your country fell apart. Should have left your little butt over there.
That Charlie was always interested in. And so you cannot get upset. You can't be mad if people then hold that mirror and say, but here's really who he was. And we cannot forget. It's one thing to ask us to condemn the violence, but it's another for you to ask us to pretend Charlie wasn't who Charlie was.
Now see, it's easy for these trash talkers to sit back and say all of these things on a safe network. And when Charlie's not there to defend himself. So we are here to defend the legacy of Charlie. Yeah, we're here to shoot down these people because look at the vague statements that she's making. That Charlie was who he was. Now, if Charlie was alive, you think she would have sat down and had a conversation with him? You think any of these dodo birds that we're listening to would ever go on to any conservative network? They would be eaten to pieces. Louder, Crowder would eat her up. Michael Knowles would eat her up. Matt Walsh would eat her up. Ben Shapiro would eat her up. Candace would eat her up. All of us would eat any of these people up. And so they go onto these networks, throw out these accusations, all chopped up and, split in pieces. They don't want to go ahead and tell you the whole context. He did this, he did that. And Charlie's not here to say, actually, I didn't say that. So we're going to go ahead and have to see what Charlie really said. Because we don't want to sit back and let this nasty, stinking woman who shouldn't be in Congress just trashing.
I'm not sure anyone's asking that. I mean, maybe some
that is what people are asking.
I'm certainly not asking that, but
that is what people are asking. People are asking and are getting fired for sharing Charlie's words.
Another lie right there. People are getting fired for sharing Charlie's words. Now, wait a minute. I mean, if you're sharing his words in a positive way, then why would you be getting fired? If you're saying, you know what, Charlie, he talked about how the black families need to have the father in the family. The breakup of the family unit has led to this and this and that. Why would I get fired for saying that? Why would I get fired for saying that? See this woman right here, once again, rewriting history. See how she's doing it? Now, we just saw her and whatever the other guy name was talking about their rewriting history. As she right here is trying to rewrite history. So people are getting fired for just sharing Charlie Kirk's words, or are they getting fired for what?
Well, and some people were celebrating it. That was part
of
it.
You see the sorry behind the Caitlyn right here. You see this woman with that little dang on ski slope nose, this crooked. How am I going to go ahead and go down the slope so I can jump up in the air and stuff like that? If the slope is like this, so we need a straight slope, that nose right there. So now here she is up here talking about some, actually, to be clear, some people was. Now notice, she said that kind of quick, quiet, and want to move on. To be clear, some people were celebrating it. Let's go on to the next thing. Instead of saying, hey, whoa. That's not why people are getting fired. Why don't you be honest? Nobody's getting fired for just saying Charlie Kirk's role. Somebody said something's wrong with Candace. Yeah, Candace kind of, I don't know what's going on with her. I'll just say that. I don't know what's going on with her. I haven't been watching her in a long time, so I don't know where she's currently at. But there were some things I was like, what's going on? But anyway, nonetheless, this woman right here, look at that face. Big eyes and stuff like that. And this woman let her get away with it.
But I haven't seen that. I've just seen people sharing his words.
You haven't seen that. So you're selective with what you see, what information you go out and find, and what you say. You're telling me You haven't seen people celebrating Charlie Kirk's, this is the whole reason Caitlin is doing this piece with you. She's trying to help you. She's trying to run cover for you guys because she know you guys got the crazies on your side. She also had participated in creating those crazies. So now she's trying to help you out, but you're too crazy. You're too dumb politically to realize maybe I shouldn't go hard in on Charlie and spread more hate, more division, and more lies about him. Because that's the same type of stuff we've been spreading that probably led to the crazy guy taking a shot.
There was a town hall that you had 6 days ago. You called Kirk a quote, hateful man, and you had reposted a video that I'm sure you've taken criticism for. It's a video that called him a reprehensible human being and said, Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein and his monster shot him through the neck.
Now you see? Do you see why Trump feels the way he feels? You see why MAGA is mad and got it fed up at that Charlie created a Frankenstein, and I'm going, somebody said Candace got Israel derangement syndrome. I think so, but look at this. You hear what she said? I mean, how insensitive is that? So basically you're saying Charlie brought it on himself. Disgusting. Somebody please go find those documents that show she was married to her brother and get her out of here ASAP. Post haste. Yeah, tomorrow. Put her on the first thing smoking. But don't take all those millions that you got hold to somehow with your white husband. Your white husband. You see, because I guarantee you, if we sent her butt back to Somalia, you think she'd be able to take all of that money and her white husband back there and live in peace? You think they'll welcome her back into Somalia with her white devil and give her a nice cushiony job that she do nothing at, ain't made a difference, nothing but just chaos. That's all she's about. You think they would let her do that over there? Think they'd celebrate baby Ilhan Omar is back home? You think they'd do that? You think they'd go back to Somalia, or would they take that money and go to somewhere is safe and peaceful? Yeah, and then talk about Trump is demonizing Somalia and saying this and this and that, but we won't go back there.
Why repost that video?
Because there were a lot of things in the video that I did agree with. Obviously, we share videos.
Yeah, now she's trying to backtrack. Thought there's a lot of things that I said we share video. What that got to do with what you said? Yeah, what you said was foul.
We don't have to agree with every single word. But I do believe he was a reprehensible, hateful man.
Yeah, but you didn't address what you just said. Yeah, you didn't address that.
Like, that is my view of the words that he has said.
Yeah, just like the words that you're saying. I think she's a reprehensible woman. I think she's an evil, deceitful, nasty, stinking, demonic, two-faced, backstabbing, low-down, dirty, snag-a-tooth, pepper-tooth, butter-tooth, dumpster-juice woman. That's what I think. Yeah, that's how I feel about this chick.
About every single identity that I belong to.
Here it is. Now, let me block that question that you just asked me that was real funky and nasty, what I said. Let me block that by going right into identity politics. Now, you see what we're dealing with? You see what we're dealing with? I can't defend what I said about Charlie to being a victim of his own monster. So what I'm going to do, all the things I identify with, he personally was attacking me with his words. Here it comes.
Didn't believe that we should have equal access to anything.
Lie.
He also just didn't even believe I could be smart enough.
Lie.
I could have thoughts that could be equal to a white man.
Lie.
Where are we missing this conversation about who this man was and the things that he said? How do you not find that?
Yeah, now see, put it back on her. Yeah. Let me throw out some misleading statements, some lies about Charlie Kirk, and then say, I can't really continue to go because I don't know really what Charlie Kirk said. I'm just using some talking points. And then I'm going to say, why would you even ask me something like this, Caitlin? Do you not agree with me? Do you think that these things he said is okay? And Caitlin is probably so misinformed as well, so she can't defend it. So she's just sitting back letting Ilhan Omar lie.
Reprehensible, Caitlin?
So I guess we'll begin
Watch
with
this.
your reaction
Look at
to
this.
the language we just heard from the president there, but also
Because Trump came out and called her a disgusting woman. Trump is looking at our enemies like, you know what? Let's not soften it. Let's not call them, they're just congresswomen. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. Let's not sit back and call her Congresswoman. No, you're trash. You're garbage. That's what you are. And Trump called it. And somebody needs to investigate this woman. And what do the media do? Let's see how you felt about that. Because of all the nasty, stinking, hurtful things that you said about Charlie, and then Trump responds and calls you a nasty woman and all of this stuff. And then what do? Let's just be sensitive to her feelings, not Erica Kirk's feelings. No, forget that. Forget that. We ain't got to be sensitive to their feelings as she gets on here saying Charlie brought it on himself. Charlie did this. Charlie's an evil man. Charlie's a white supremacist. Now, let's not worry about that. Let's check in with Ilhan's feelings.
So I want to ask how you are doing.
Oh,
You've been attacked by the president, by a colleague whose office is right next door to yours.
So? You're not going to say it? You spent days attacking Charlie Kirk for no reason. Yeah, you went on the offense. You're out there at churches and stuff. I mean, did somebody ask you a question while you were there? You just felt the need to bring up Charlie Kirk there? Were you in a debate at that church? Or did you make it your mission to go in there with a fixed statement to demonize Charlie Kirk? And yet, y'all want us to live civilly with these people? No. And then you get these fools coming up, Trump said bad things about you.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I know that you have received messages and voicemails from people threatening you.
Oh, voices. Did you get shot in the neck? That's what I want to know. Did you get that? I mean, what person in Congress don't get those? Get out of Congress. How about that? Or how about this? Shut your nasty mouth up. Yeah. And even with your nasty mouth, we still would not encourage anybody to do crazy things. Because guess what? Us on the right have enough common sense to put things in perspective. We recognize analogies, comparisons, stuff like that. And we don't sit back and say, oh, Trump called her the evil, despicable woman, so I got to go out and take matters into my own hands. We don't do that. So what are you talking about? That you've received all of this stuff. And I'll be wondering if these people really are receiving that stuff. I think every time they're in the hot seat, what they do to get people off their back is come out there, I'm in danger. I tell you, what, the people out there, things you're saying is putting my life in danger. So now I want a free pass to go ahead and trash Charlie Kirk, who really paid the price for his freedom of speech. And I got this dodo bird up here pretending that your life is in danger. Yeah, we're trying now to bubble wrap her.
How are you holding up?
How are you holding? Here we go.
I've been here before. I've been the target of the president in the most vile, bigoted, racist ways.
Oh, God. I'm not going to be able to finish this. I'm not. Listening to these people make me so mad. I mean, Charlie just got buried. This chick went on a I Hate Charlie tour, and now she's up there claiming she's the victim. And Trump is racist, bigoted. You see her? Using identity politics to bubble wrap themselves. And the Democrats know they got a cancer in their camp, and they refuse to cut it out. They know that all of these people I'm showing right now are malignant. These are the people who was like, I'm not voting for a resolution or a bill that says condemn the person that killed Charlie Kirk. And because Charlie's evil and he's a white supremacist. And I know they're going, y'all can't even do that. Y'all can't even do that. Y'all can't even keep y'all dang on mouths shut. At least pretend that we're sad over what happened to Charlie. So now, they let the cancer go out there and spread. Watch this.
You could imagine. And I've had to have full police detail because...
Woe is me. Woe is me. The baby on the bus goes wow, wow, wow. I have to have full security for nothing. Nobody's after your stinking nasty butt. But here you are. I said bad things and the heat is on me. So now I'm going to cry that I'm in danger and just stop picking on me. Stop exposing how evil and stinking I am. Unreal.
Of that. So it is surprising that he's back at it because I thought he's moved on and found a new person to harass.
No, but you pop back up on that radar with your nasty butt. See, evil has a tendency to pop up on the radar. You jumped out there. I thought he would move on and find somebody else. You went out there with your big bucket mouth and out there talking that Charlie Kirk and this and that, and that you know what, Frankenstein. And then you wonder why people look your way. Then you're shocked. Then you're the victim. Yeah, you're the one over there making all the noise. And then when people look and say, who the heck is that over there making all that noise? Why are you looking at me? Why y'all always? Because you're over there with that big fat mouth spreading all of these lies about Charlie Kirk. Ain't got enough common sense and grace to at least pretend to not be crooked and evil.
But here's, a president that is always unhinged, always strange, always creating chaos and division.
See? And we've been hearing this about Trump for the last 12 years, and they're whining about sometimes Trump say this and this and that. This is constant. We get bombarded with this type of rhetoric every day for 12 years plus straight. And you wonder why your crazies can't handle it. Yeah, you wonder why. But now all of a sudden that you can't handle, he's unhinged, this and this and that.
And he seems to have a real obsession with anyone that is
stupid, anyone that's evil, anyone that's an obvious enemy to the country. You're telling me how did you pop up on his radar? See, this is what they try to say, and I'm saying, wait, let me understand. You're now the person who comes into my office when I was a principal. Man, teacher kicked me out the room and sent me to your office. For what? Nothing. I ain't do nothing. Nothing. You're telling me you just popped up on the teacher's radar to be sent to the office for doing nothing. You were doing everything you're supposed to do in the classroom, and the teacher just stopped and said, you get up and go to the principal's office. For what? Nothing. When you get there, tell him I sent you because you didn't do nothing. Yeah, that's what you want me to believe? So now all of a sudden she's whining. I don't know why he's looking at me. Could it be something you said?
An immigrant in this country that is not of European descent.
Here we go. And then you got this dodo bird coming out defending her. Another one, they got a low political IQ. She's hot. She's toxic. Why are you over there dibbling and dabbling in all of this toxicity? But this dodo bird comes out.
Hope, Chris, that the libertarians out there, the folks that fly the Gadsden flag, they would be appalled by this. You don't have to agree with Ilhan Omar. She's representing her people. She's voted in. She's a citizen. She's doing good work. She didn't do anything on this to Donald Trump other than she disagrees with his horrific policies, just like I do. But we all know why.
That's not why. They always try to say she ain't do nothing. She just disagree with his policy. No, she's out there trashing a man's legacy and lying about it.
Going after her because she's a Muslim woman, and that's just what he does. And he tries to stir up hate.
This party needs to be destroyed. I'm not going to be able to finish. I'm telling you right now, this party needs to be destroyed. Not the people, but the party. I got to make it clear for the dummies. You're inciting violence against... No, the party. Because this is how they function and operate. You hear this fool? Because she's a Muslim, because she's a woman. See? And you wonder why we talk about DEI. And why we talk about, you guys are always bringing up racism, debate, all this stuff, because y'all can't win arguments. And when y'all say things like this, what do you think a crazy person is going to interpret you saying it's because she's a Muslim, she's a woman, she's black? What do you think that says to a crazy person who think they're a freedom fighter? Or, you know what, we're fighting against racism. This guy hates immigrants. He hates black people. We got to do something. What do you think that does? And this fool is out here doing it.
And look, Donald really ramps this stuff up, but I still want to know where the Epstein list is for President Trump. I still want to know what you're going to do about prices out here. I want you to make sure you get some contracts for soybeans with China, which are at zero and have a chance of destroying farm economy across middle America. So, look, this is all part of the plan, but it's horrific. And you can be certain when Donald Trump puts that out, Congresswoman Omar and her family are put at risk.
Here we go. There it is. Forget Charlie being at risk. Forget Trump being at risk, being 2 assassination attempts. Two. Forget all the rhetoric that led to Rand Paul getting attacked, to all of those Republicans that couldn't eat in restaurants when Trump ran the first time, and Maxine Waters telling them to get in people. Forget the Supreme Court justices. Forget all of the folks y'all incited to tear up cities, burn down cities, and all of that. Forget that. Forget the fact that ICE is in constant threat of them throwing stuff because you are out there saying this is Gestapo, they're unalive and they're disappearing people. Forget that. As y'all try to unmask them, reveal who they are, forget that. Now you're worried about Ilhan Omar being at risk. Now you see why it's real tough not to despise your enemies. It's Trump seeing these people for what they are. These are evil, stinking people who hate the country. They're not trying to really have any type of relationship with us because they can't beat us fair and square. They don't know how to work real jobs. So what are they going to do? They are trying to protect their raggedy careers, and they're using the worst stinking way to do it. Boy.
So we're talking about this political violence thing. We have got to get back to the decency.
But I can't stand my opponent.
I understand that, Trump. Because guess what? I can't stand him either. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to save her for next time. We're going to pick up next time because we got two heavy hitters on the way out. Yeah. Ilhan Omar, Talib Omar, this chick, and you know who's going to bring up the rear. Yeah, buddy. She was more like a doo-doo queen on a doo-doo screen. I pay no mind, but what do you mean? She's a congresswoman. LC, Bubblehead, #1. So we'll pick up tomorrow and you know, finish up with why Trump feels that he can't stand his opponents. And he needs to keep that perspective. And so do we. Until these folks are either out of office, you know, or whatever. Right now, if we do not view them the way they are, they will continue to poison our country if we get content and start softening up the way they are and saying the way we see them. If we let them, you know, bait us back into saying, well, now, you know what, we can all be civil, we can all do it, we all got stuff on both sides. No, it's not time for that right about now. Yeah, we have to confront these people as the evil, corrupt, stinking cancer in our political arena as they are. They're not trying to make peace. They're not trying to be civil. They're not trying to bring down the temperature. And we see it as I play these clips and you hear them still talking trash right after Charlie gets killed. They ain't gonna learn, man. So we got to teach them. That's what we got to do. So God bless y'all. God bless America. I ain't gonna even move it from that part. Yeah, we'll pick up right there tomorrow. Okay. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your wonderful Tuesday. I'm gonna go ahead, get me some grub, and then get to sleep. Those that want to support the channel, don't forget you can do it through my Cash App, PayPal, or just the Super Chat. Please subscribe. Make sure that you turn your notifications on. And subscribe to my alternative channel. And man, I'm about to bomb this whole room for these gnats. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. All right, so God bless y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, maybe same time or earlier. Same place, though, at least. All right, take care. God bless.